Hi everyone. Today's video is about a paperweight come coaster in this case, and it is based on two requests I've recently had from two of my patrons, and one was about grapes, grapevine, leaves, that sort of thing, and the other one was how I put my velvet backing behind a paperweight or underneath a paperweight. So basically I've taken one of these. It's quite thick, but it can be used as a drinks coaster, and I've very roughly drawn, actually on the underside, the side I'm going to be engraving, because I'm going to engrave underneath, of course. There you go. A very rough sketch of some grapes and vine and leaves and that sort of thing. And then, as I say, afterwards I'm going to be putting the black velvet underneath and showing you how I've done that. And this, it has several purposes. One, of course, is to show up the engraving at its best, with a lovely matte dark background. And so any light on that will be caught in the engraving. And also it will protect it from greasy fingers, dirt, that sort of thing, and it also protects from scratches underneath, and yeah, altogether it protects the engraving and will look really, really nice. The fact that it's grapes, that's nice to put a wine glass on, for example. Just make sure you don't miss the edge, your wine glass will topple. Otherwise use it as a paperweight. That'll be fun, and I hope that you enjoy it. Let's get on with it. White paper behind so that you can see the marks, a nice mask, and a headband magnifier over your eyes or your glasses even, and out with the Dura White. Very quickly, very roughly, going over my very scrappy design. Well, you know me. This is a speedy job, a super speedy paperweight with some grapes on. And here I have a small diamond, and I'm using water because I don't want to be going over these again. I'm changing things as I go along, where I just feel it, like there. Just filling in the gaps with a few little tendrils. And now to wipe off the permanent marker, as I've mentioned before, I use a cloth that has actually got some glass dust on it from using it so much, and that helps to take off the permanent marker quite quickly. Obviously don't press too hard on a very soft crystal because that will make a mark on the glass. Here I have a green stone. Now I'm going to play around with this for a bit. First of all, I'm using it dry. You can see it's quite streaky. It's a very odd stone. But anyway, it produces this interesting leafy kind of effect. Now I'm going to try it with water, because sometimes, well, I don't often use stones with water, but sometimes it will soften the effect of a stone using water, and apologies because you can't see it very clearly at all. But I just thought I would try that to show you, because this is a really stubborn stone and it's made no difference whatsoever. So I decided to smooth it out ever so slightly, take away any rough bits. Sometimes that gives you a more softer look, and nope, this is quite a coarse little stone. I'm just engraving in the general direction of the flow of the leaf, really. That one's got a fold over. got a grey rubber in the drill now, and I'm just throwing in some random shadings. Nothing specific at all. A small diamond in the drill now, and some water. My apologies, you can't see this little bit very clearly. And just throwing in some of the veins. I'm going to use this tiny little mini rat's tail, if you like. I've just flattened the top to get some fresh diamond, having a little check on a piece of scrap glass. Sorry, that's out of focus. And just adding some extra little veins into the leaves. I should have had a reference. I was being a little bit naughty. I think these are leaves from a grapevine from outer space somewhere. But hey ho, we are the artists. And we have artistic license. Here is a very coarse, chunky rubber, and I'm just going over the leaves again here and there. And now I have got a medium grit diamond burr, just doing some of the branches. This is a gnarly old grapevine. Here I have got a Dura white, and I am picking up some of the lumps and bumps and really trying to soften the whiteness, dulling it down quite a lot. The grey rubber, of course, going over where I have added the Dura white, and that makes it quite dark. Here I have got quite a fine grit diamond burr, and I'm preparing some of the grapes. Now, those of you who have watched my other videos on grapes, the difference between grapes and bubbles, these background little grapes need to be smooth. When I say smooth, they need to be surface engraved. So I'm just preparing the background grapes at this point. Just adding a little bit of shading there. And decided that it needs to be much, much darker. You can play and play and play. And as I say, this is painting with diamonds. And back with the rubber. So these are very shallow. I haven't gone deep at all. Now I have got a big coarse diamond burr and starting to engrave pretty deeply. These are the grapes that are in front of the other grapes, or on their own in the space. Just remember to engrave the whole sphere, not just the outside. Make sure you don't forget to engrave the middle bit. Let's have a little look. So if you start off going round and round on the outside, this is what you get, a lovely donut. So you don't really want a donut-shaped grape. That is what I mean by engraving the sphere. So make sure you don't forget the middle bit. Blend it together. So now I've gone back to my fine grit burr and I'm just going over again some of the background, but not pressing deeply at all. So I don't want to mess up the borders of the grapes that are in the front. Going over the front grapes as well, just to smooth them out a little bit because they are looking a little bit rough and ready. Just using the rubber again. I decided to initially use this rubber on the grapes just to see the grapes that they're kind of bright shade. So if you can imagine very pale green grapes with the sun blasting on them, making them really quite light. As I said, I think these are grapes from outer space. Never mind. Okay, so with my rubber disc, quite a hard rubber, I'm going over the edges and therefore in between the grapes. This will also be able to soften any chippy bits. I've decided to use a soft rubber again, and I'm just taking down the point that was on the top because it was creating a weird shape. So But I know in my mind I'm still not happy with the grapes. They are very luminous, and I can still see there's one in the background who's very deformed, so that needs some attention as well. Now I'm just adding some highlights here actually. Just giving that grape a better shape. I also decided to highlight some of the edges of the grapes. This is the fine grit diamond, so it's not likely to chip the edges. That's looking rather nice if you want bright green grapes. Here I am just adding a couple of little twigs with the diamond. And now back to the Dura White. I'm just popping along and adding, I don't know, a couple of little tendrils, features. This is a very, very small diamond wheel, and I'm adding here a few gnarly bits to the branches. They get kind of twisted after many, many years. I mean, these grapevines can be really old. So it's just the rough effect of a twisting old gnarly branch. Looks like a bit of rope, actually. Don't mind me. Right, I've decided to turn these grapes into purple grapes. So there you can see I used a bit of Dura White and a bit of rubber, and instantly we have a darker grape. So let's do them all. You'll notice I'm not completely smoothing out the grape, only probably about 80% of it. Running the drill very, very slowly and going very lightly. I don't press hard at all with the Dura White. Oops. When you go over the edge, just add a little tendril. Of course. Back with the rubber. Okay, those are a bit darker now. Sign your name and the date. Now for the backing. I have got some sticky back velvet, and you can just roughly draw the circle and cut it out with a pair of scissors, or I have used a Cricut. I'm fortunate enough to have a Cricut. I've also got another vinyl cutter as well within my M1 laser machine, but a pair of scissors will do the trick. And you can see that I've got a smaller one and a bigger one. So the smaller one's going to go on the inside. There we go, facing upwards. And the other one is going to go on the back, facing downwards. Most important, the first thing you do is clean it really, really well. You don't want anything lurking in there. Just use some rubbing alcohol. Right, here I'm using a bit of packaging tape and removing any little bits that might be stuck on the velvet. No little white particles or bits of dust. Everything needs to be removed nicely, and then place it in the middle. Sticky side up, of course. And now remove the backing of the larger piece and place it sticky side down. Being very careful that you are in the center, so overlook it from directly above. Make sure that it's all stuck nicely. If you find that, especially if you've hand cut the circle and there are a couple of bits sticking out the edges, just get a very sharp pair of scissors and just cut along the edge right against the glass, and it will be quite neat. There we go, that's rather fun. A quick little bunch of grapes on a paperweight. I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time. Bye for now.